Hey everyone, guess what? My Apex order just arrived and I've been so excited for this device. I've been looking forward to this. This is fresh off my porch. We're gonna open it up together. I'm gonna size it versus the Legion Go S versus the Switch 2 versus the Xbox Ally X because I wouldn't get the white one. Anyways, we're gonna size it up. I'm going to show you the accessories that I've been building over the course of CES when I actually had hands-on with it, and some of the videos that I've done in between, how to set up the Frost Bay, that's linked in the description. As soon as I'm done this, I'm gonna be taking it apart and swapping out to a 4TB drive, so take a look at that description, video link. That's coming soon. I can't even concentrate. I'm so excited to open this. Let's get into it right now. I ordered and bought a lot of things here. So this is not sponsored by Onexplayer. This is all my own money. I backed it just like anybody else who did immediately the second that it was available on Indiegogo. I mean, this is so exciting. So Apex is in here. Let's save that for the end. Let's just save that for the end. I'm gonna pull open the Frost Bay. We've got, you know, the case here. We'll look at a few different case options in case you don't want to use that one. I'm gonna just yank everything out here. I got the buy-win card. Oh, that almost got loose there. This is the stand for the Apex. It's just like a cardboard stand. It didn't get crushed in the box, so that's pretty, I mean, that's pretty good. And then we have this, and I'm assuming that's maybe the charging station, but I don't know, we'll see. Now, I did order batteries, but like anybody else that ordered batteries, those are going to be on hold until June, so we only have the ones that it actually, you know, comes with, just the single one in the box. So this does look like the battery dock. So this is the charging dock station. So you can see that there's the DC port. There's also a USB-C port, so it looks like we can use either option for that, but it's just like a light plastic material to connect the battery on and charge it. So if you picked up one of those stations, that's what it's like. It's just really, really light plastic. So it should fit really nice from a weight standpoint in your bag. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. This should be the charge brick, and I'm not going to use a knife on this because I've learned my lesson trying to cut into any of these cases. I did it with the G1. I scratched the cover. Don't want to do that again. So this is going to be a case for the charge brick. And here's the cable. Now, one of the first accessories that I'm going to talk about, and we'll kind of go through that as I take everything apart, is another charge brick option. So this one, you know, you have this cable in. I believe this is 46 inches, 45 inches. I have a video, again, linked in the description, with the Frost Bay where I've taken out the actual cables, full length, measured them, everything is on there. And I also, you know, talk about the Slim Q charger. So the barrel port on there, I'll leave the numbers for it in the description of what size it is, but the Slim Q charger here, this right now has my Z13 end on it for my flow, but this default barrel is the right size for the Apex and for the Super X. So you can use this actual charge brick, and not sponsored. I bought this with my own money. Again, Slim Q, 240 watt charger. If you're comparing it to the actual brick size, you know, it's a little bit bigger. From a weight standpoint, this is lighter. This is heavier. But you get 10 feet in length. 10 feet versus, you know, that 46 inches. That's a pretty big difference. But this one's going to be really nice for an actual docking scenario, and we've got the fold pins on there, so that's cool, because the one that I had was an Aussie brick with the Super X when I was testing that out, and that was stuck on there. There's no folding on there, so that's cool. Also worth noting that this one has a grounded plug, whereas this one does not have a grounded plug. Oh, I just hit my, you know, Ava Edition controller. Don't mind that. I might tap it a few times during the video. So let's tuck this away. We've got this really long cord that we can use as an option. The other thing that I'm going to try, and unfortunately the cable hasn't arrived yet, it's going to be 2 more days before that shows up. But I have this 140 watt brick from Anker. And again, bought with my own money. Link in the description if you want to pick one up. If you connect through the regular USB-C into the Apex, you're only getting 55 watts. That's going to be the max that you can do. But I have this cable coming, and it's a USB-C to the actual DC barrel. And so I'm gonna try that out. Essentially, just imagine USB-C in with this to the DC barrel, and I'm gonna see if that works. So stay tuned. In the description, I'll make a note if it does work really well, or I might make a short video or something on it, but at the very least, I'll make a note if it does work. And that might be a really good option, just to have, a smaller, more compact brick for the USB-C to DC barrel to still try to push higher than that 55 watts and check out what the performance is, if it's consistent with this or not. Now, I did pick up a BuyWin 1 terabyte card. You can see that it comes in this little package here. This I also picked up, not sponsored. This bought with my own money. Again, I might say that a few times in this video because a lot of this stuff I have just bought. And this is a BuyWin mini SSD card reader. And I picked it up from the GPD store. I'll leave a link in the description of where I picked this one up. But it gives you another option so that you can use this, with other devices too. So you're not just locked to the Apex or the Super X or, GPD Win 5 that also has this. But, the devices that have that mini SSD spot, I figured this would be a really good option to just have as a backup for a reader. Also, if for whatever reason your reader is not working properly, you can at least test, is it the card or is it the device? So interesting pick right there. All right, the Frostbay. Now, I am familiar with this. I did have it for a little while with the Super X, so that I could make the video of how to set up your Frostbay. And again, link to that in the description. But the prototype unit that I had, still being passed around to different content creators. This is the actual consumer unit. So that's going to be neat for me to see just the difference between the one that I tried and this one. Okay, we're going to use the pull tab. This is a little too heavy to just yank out of the side. So this is the Frostbay. This is what's going to push that liquid cooling. This is what's going to allow us to have 120 watts of power. And I can see already that from this standpoint, it looks like they've upgraded this material a little bit on the fans. I know the prototype was a little bit weaker on here. So it looks like that's been upgraded. When you're holding this and when you're, maneuvering around with it, don't grab it from these. Like don't put pressure on these vents. I would be very gentle with that. Try to grab it from the sides when you're maneuvering with it. Again, the install for this is linked in the description. We've got a little tool here. That's kind of cool. And then we've got the cables likely in here. So it should have the DC cable and then the two, actual liquid cooling cables. There's the DC cable. And they did mention, Onexplayer to me, that longer lengths will become available on the Onexplayer store. So if you're looking for something longer, again, that'll be on the store. And I do have the lengths of these measured in that Frostbay install guide video linked in the description. So like I said, I measured all the cables and you get a good idea, of what that looks like. So this one just kind of goes off to the side here and plugs right into your device. So ideally, this is just sitting on your desk. This is just the short cable to your device. So if you're using it with the Apex, you're not going to have this connected and then have a lot of playroom with it because this is short distance. This is really if you're using it on your desk, hooked up to a TV or something, like to just really push the limits with that 120 watts and liquid cooling. So this is a little screwdriver. If I open it up, little screwdriver there. And this side too, just a flat head. So we've got just a little Phillips, a little flap head, and I guess that's just if you need to open this up for whatever reason. But I would imagine that these screws are probably under here if you did need to open that up. And then this is just where you fill the water. And again, I have how much water to fill, what kind of water to use, all in that video. So make sure you check that out. And let's go to the case last, because then I can go through all the cases all at once. And let's just open up the Apex, the thing I've really been waiting for so long and thinking about every single day since CES, because boy, like the time with this thing, it was memorable. It was memorable. I'm so excited to actually have my own unit, purchased with my own money. Again, not sponsored. Quick setup guide. If you need any help with like drivers and stuff like that, I know if you go to the official Discord, it's been pinned in the Apex channel. So there are drivers, there's, you know, all the files that you need for this. There's a new update for Onex console that just came out. If you didn't see an email come through and you're not subscribed to those emails, like there's a lot of things that have come out to help tie in with the experience that you have for this. And wow. Oh, to feel you again after my experience with you at CES. Just so much joy that I am feeling right now to have the Apex. I am so excited about this. Now, the actual texture on here is a little bit grippier than what it usually is, so it's less slippery on here. I'm still going to put grips on there. 100% I'm putting grips on here. And if we pull this off, you're going to see that, again, I have the liquid-cooled version. So we have a little cap up here, so there's a little tab. I can pull this off and catch a glimpse of the actual ports. There we go. So here's what the liquid cooling ports look like, and it's simple to connect it back on. You just push the button and then clip it in there. But this is the little cover for it. It's magnetized. I can feel that the magnets are pulling on there. So, you know, you want to make sure that you get it the right way, and the magnets are going to kind of pull you to that. It's just a plastic cover. This is a rubber cover for the battery. So that's going to be scary not to lose. I mean, I hope they sell those separately in case you do lose it and you want to buy another one. They probably will. In the bottom here, we have the micro SD port. Right here is where the ByWin card is going to go. So it's almost like a SIM card. You just need to push that with a pin, and then that ejects it, and then you have a slot for your mini SSD. We got the back buttons, the triggers, hair triggers. Love hair triggers. This is great. Got the clicky, and you got the full. So whether you're, you know, playing an FPS and you need that quick reaction, or, you know, Expedition 33 when you have to immediately dodge or parry, it's great to have just that short throw. Sticks feel really good. We have those metal rings around, and again, I'm a big fan of the metal rings. It just feels good. You know, we got the clicky buttons that are so satisfying. I am just so happy and over the moon to have this. Now, if you're wondering if there is a film, yes, there is. You can see it. Oh, is there a way for me to put this? You can see it right on the very edge. It's very subtle, but there is a film applied to this. And there should be hopefully a screen protector soon on the Onexplayer site, because I've seen a Super X one already popped up. So there's probably going to be one for the Apex pretty soon too. And if you're wondering what you can use in the meantime, well, at CES, I brought this JSOX one with me. It's a matte anti-glare, and I'll show you here just in case you didn't catch the other video. But when you line this up, it fits from like this standpoint, but for the actual width, you can see that it just goes just barely over. So it doesn't work. You can't use this. If you're wondering about the MSI Claw, because it uses the same display, the bezels on that one are even bigger, so that's not going to work either. So right now we don't have a tempered glass option for the screen protector, and you've seen it here firsthand that the Legion Go S1 does not work. And going deeper into the box, we've got the battery. And so this is the battery that is just the regular one. And you can swap this out for the newer style that they're going to be doing that, you know, is more heat resistant, so overheating resistant. So this one, really what was happening, if you haven't followed what was going on in the Onexplayer Discord or heard somebody mention it on a YouTube video or something, or any of the news on it, basically when this is attached and you're running at 55 watts, it was triggering an overheat message after, you know, 30 minutes, a certain span of time, once this thing started to really cook and once this thing started to really cook. So one way that we can kind of avoid that is if we had the extension battery cable, which I don't have that tether cable because I ordered 2 extra batteries. Those come with the tether cables. Those are being held back for the new battery. So in the meantime, I don't have that. I have this charging dock. So like there's that, you know, but that doesn't help me. let's put that in there quick, just so you can see what it looks like in the charging dock. This is super easy to clip in there and be able to charge the battery. So in the meantime, we have the one that comes with the Apex. There will be an option to swap this out if you need to, but even if you're running on battery, I wouldn't recommend running at 55 watts anyway. I mean, we're really pushing a lot of heat there with this 395 chip if you're running at the 55 watts, and you're gonna run through this battery pretty quick. This is still, what, an 85 watt battery? So, I mean, you're getting like an hour and 15 minutes-ish if you were running this on full 55 watts, and halfway through that, it's going to give you the overheat, and it's going to reduce down the wattage anyway. So if you just drop your wattage, you'll be fine. Or if you bought that tether cable separately, you'll have that in the package. Just tether it up, throw this in your pocket or in your hoodie if you're wearing that, and then just feel how light this is without the battery, because wow, is it light. And if you don't believe me, I mean, here's the weight of the battery, 386 grams, huge. Now without the battery, this is at 790 grams, so it's still really light. If you look at the weight of the Nintendo Switch 2, when you're at 565, this has the liquid cooling in it too, right? So it is a little bit more heavy than the one without the liquid cooling. But if I, pull out the Xbox Ally X and we weigh that too, well, let's just get back to 0. 776 grams, like that's still very comparable in weight, but the power in this thing is next level. Now, if we size this up to the Xbox Ally X, you can see that it's very similar from this standpoint, except we have a way bigger screen. So where this one expands on these actual grips, we gain on the actual screen. And that's what I really like, is that 8-inch screen versus the 7-inch screen. And if we compare these side to side, again, comparable in the thickness, the overall bumpers are longer, so we have a longer length on there, but everything feels really good. And again, we have more port options on this device. We have the USB, we have the DC port, we have the Thunderbolt 4, and then at the very bottom, this is not a Thunderbolt 4, this is just a display out. You can use it for like a dock or something like that, but not eGPU. That's not going to be eGPU support. This is the one for eGPU. And then we've got the volume rocker up and down, a fingerprint sensor with the power on, and then, of course, the headphone jack. This is going to be your start and select. This one we can program to whatever we want. So if you were using Xbox full screen, for example, you could program that to the Xbox button. Or, again, the One X console app right there, that's a quick access. And then this is a keyboard pop-up. So I like that they've added that button in there to just quickly pop up the keyboard. It's going to make it a lot easier for setup. So let's flip over to cases, and I don't want to use the knife on this one because, again, I don't want to scratch it. I learned my lesson. No cutting into the cases. This is the one that comes with it from the campaign. I don't know if that's going to be the same for, this is cool. Look at this Apex keychain. I don't know if that's the case for all the ones that are shipping from the store. I think right now that they are all shipping with this case still as like a free companion. So you can put the battery in there. There's this, neoprene, I think that's what it's called. I don't know. I'm too excited about the Apex. I can't concentrate. That's what I said. So I'm sticking to it. So here's this zipped up. Now you can't fit the charge cable in this. So if you're looking for an option where you can kind of fit everything, that's where we're going to pivot over to the other options. Now the first one I'm going to start with is this JSOX mod carry case. I can't even remember what it's called. It's like a double decker or something or other. It's for the Xbox Ally X, but it's been a while, so I haven't looked at what the name is properly again. It'll be in the description though. This one was sent to me by JSOX, but it was for the Xbox Ally X. So you can see that it fits that one in here. And I was pretty sure when I did the video for this that it would fit the Apex, and now is the time to see if it does. And of course it does. It fits it nice and beautifully. Look at that. This is perfect in there. So the nice thing about this double-decker case is we can just flip this right over, and underneath here we've got all this space. Look at all this room for activities. So I could fit the regular charger in here. I can separate this off so it doesn't bump into everything. I can put the cable in there. I can stick the battery in here. I mean, I can fit a mouse in here. This is just like a Pebble mouse. This is the one that I use for just quick maneuvering whenever I need to have on my devices, because you can program 3 different ones on here, so it's a pretty sweet mouse. So let's stick that in there. This is a Mishin keyboard. This was something that I checked out at CES. It was pretty cool. As soon as you open it up, it turns on there. You can program 3 different devices on it, but it has the touchpad on there. It folds up nicely. You can still use it on your lap. It's got this sleeve on here. So let's just shove all these things in here and see if it closes. Well, that's a tight squeeze. All right, the keyboard might have pushed it a little bit to the limits, but this thing's at max capacity, and I was able to fit literally everything. So maybe not so much this keyboard in here with everything. That's a little bit tight, but you can fit all the cables. You can fit the battery. You can fit this. You could probably actually fit a second battery because there still is a little bit of space here. And like I said, if I had the keyboard in there tightly, and you know what, this battery is thinner than the keyboard. So that gives you an idea roughly of the kind of space that you can use with this specific case. So if you're looking for a hard cover case, this is a great option. Now, if you're looking for a soft cover case, that's more of a sling, of course I'm going to show you, the TomTalk case, because this thing is my go-to for most of my devices. It just fits everything. So you can still fit your device perfectly fine in there. There's plenty of room for everything. Let's just shove that all in here. So there's the keyboard. Let's throw the battery in there, tuck it in the front. We've got the mouse, the charge brick. I'm just gonna shove this stuff wherever. Let's put this in there. No, let's not put that in there. That's not gonna fit right. We can put it up here. There we go. And if I zip everything up, it all fits. It all fits in the TomTalk case because this thing is a beast. And this one, not sponsored. This is with my own money. I have a lot of TomTalk bags, and this thing just works so well with everything. Now, the JSOC stand here, I'm going to see if this thing fits well. So let's say that you don't have the battery attached. You're just using it in like desktop mode, but you want something that's just going to give you a stand for it. If I set this on here, yeah, this one works good. And so this is actually, it fits perfectly right behind here. So this one I bought with my own money, but it gives you a good option, and it's flat. You can stick it in your bag as a case. The other thing that you can do is a mag stand. So this is a MagSafe ring. That's an option that you could potentially do. You know what? We can see if we can put this on. I know I have a skin coming. That's right. I have a skin that I ordered on AliExpress, so I don't want to put the ring on there just yet. But if I was putting the ring on there, I'd be rocking this stand, because this, look how cool that looks. That looks so cool. Look at that. Yes, love that. So this is an option if you wanted to put a ring on here. This one is a high temp proof one, and I think it will still fit under the battery. So I'm pretty confident that it will, but I should probably wait for that skin to arrive before I get too crazy with it. But if I put this under here and I clip it, I can see that there's still space under here. So I think it'll be totally fine to have that on here. You know what? Screw it. Let's just put the ring on. You've convinced me. Let's do it. Okay, this is a kickstand ring. So you can use this. So you don't really need this if you're doing this, because that gives you a little bit of a kickstand option. But let's pull out the rings here. And it comes with 3. And let's do this. Let's do this. Here we go. Don't mess this up. Get it on straight. Okay. We're only covering a little bit of the holes. It's not too bad, right? If I put this cover on, it's still good. It doesn't impact anything. Oh, that's cool. That is cool. Here we go. That means I can also use it with my mechanism pillow. And then game that way too, if I want to. But see, look, the battery works. It's on there. We have the MagSafe ring. It doesn't impact anything. And I think the skin's still going to be fine. I'm pretty sure the skin goes around. So stay tuned for that. I'll see how that skin is, what the quality's like. But there we go. We got a MagSafe ring on there. And it's high temp proof, so we should be in a really good spot. It shouldn't cause any issues, ideally, but I guess I'll find out. I mean, if I have an update, I'll put it in the description. Now what's next? Of course, dust plugs because I love dust plugs. These things protect your ports. So you can pick up some dust plugs, USB-C ones, if you want a regular USB one. But dust plugs are sweet. They protect your ports. I'm a big fan of them. So if you want some of those, I'll leave a link in the description, but you can pick them up. It's just USB-C dust plugs. I have my 4 terabyte drive. This is going in next, of course. I just threw something, but it's fine. It's fine. And then there's grip tape. So these are the grip tapes that I typically will use. This is like for a mouse. So Hotline Games is usually one I get. I usually pick this up from AliExpress. And these are just little dot ones. But then this is a roll that I get from Amazon. And I just use it to, you know, add some grips to it. But again, I have a skin coming. So I'm not going to put those on just yet. Or if I do, I'm going to take them off pretty quick. And I still need to open this up. So not going to put those on today, but usually I add some grips right along the edge here, and then I add some grips around here, and then some right at the front where I'm going to be grabbing with, you know, my palms. So those are the things that I really recommend that you grab for this device. If you want to pick up some accessories, that's going to be my list right there. So let's quickly go through, because I said that I would size this up against the Switch 2, which I did in my CES video because I had this with me, but Switch 2, similar in actual, you know, length of it, but very different from an actual width. This thing is quite a bit thicker than here. Of course, I don't have the battery on right now. That makes it even more thick, but it is a decent difference between the two devices. And of course, we've got the back and the back. Also have the Legion Go S, and this is going to be probably the most comparable because the actual screen size is the same, essentially, because we know the screen protector does not fit, but the screen is the same screen between both devices. And so if we're looking at it from the Legion Go S, yeah, the Legion Go S is just ever so slightly bigger, but not by too much. And of course I have the kill switch case on right now, so it's not totally fair, but from a height wise, this is just a little bit bigger. So the Legion Go S, you know, you have that little bit of edge higher than it, and clicky buttons, but I like this micro switch better. You know, it's a loud click, more of a softer click. I'm shaking this thing. I'm so excited. Sorry, the camera's shaking so much because I just keep slamming things on here, but this is very comparable to the Legion Go S in terms of actual size. And weight-wise, very comparable to the Xbox Ally X. So we've covered a lot today. There's a lot of accessories here, and I've got a lot of work to do still because I need to swap out that drive before I actually, you know, turn this thing on. So quickly, I'm going to just show you with that ring from Savage Raven. Yeah, you can use this as a kickstand if you need to, but, you know, this thing is way cooler if you want to just set that on your desk and connect to a TV or anything like that. This thing is going to hold everything. Yeah, that's how much I trust it. Literally throwing my Apex down, and I know that this thing's going to hold. So what'd you think? Let me know down in the comments. Hit that like button if this was helpful. Hopefully it was. And subscribe if you haven't already. Take care until the next one. And the next one